following podcast contains real stories and raw conversations from first responders and military personnel. Some topics may be graphic or triggering. The views expressed by the host and the guests are their own and do not represent any agency or organization. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right. Well, welcome back to Beyond the Dispatch. Welcome to Phil. We've known you, or I've known you a very long time.
Oh, God. Yeah, since I can remember. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think, I'm 47, so, I mean, as long as I can remember, I've known your family.
Yeah, well, my dad's known you apparently,
since I was born.
Apparently, he was there the day you were born.
Yeah. If he was not at the hospital on Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd, 1978.
At 9 a.m. in the morning?
No, my mom would know. I think it was in the afternoon. She always calls me her butterball since I was her Thanksgiving turkey. But he had to be there when they brought me home at good old
Sweet Brenda. She's a nice lady.
She is.
Good old Fort Bragg.
She is way too nice.
She honestly, there's those people in like you meet in the world who are like, oh, that's fake nice. She's actually genuinely one of the nicest people I know.
I literally don't think she's got a mean bone in her body.
Zero.
I like no. She's got nice things to say about anybody.
Oh, absolutely. For you guys that don't know, our fathers or our dads were in the Army together. They were military police officers, and they served in, what is it, Fort Bragg, right?
Yeah, at Fort Bragg, the 108th.
Small world.
108th MP Company.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, brother.
No, I thank you guys for having me. I'm not one of your normal, I'm just a normal dude, and I'm not cool like all your other podcast people.
No, dude, you were far from normal. You're definitely a very interesting person.
I'm listening to all your podcasts. I'm like, yeah, I'm not like these people. Like the Huey Gunner. I'm like, no, definitely not me. He's got some stories.
Oh, Ralph.
Yeah,
man. He's a hoot.
Yeah,
he's a hoot.
But no, thank you guys for having me on. This is. I actually did it as a joke. I was just like joking when I was texting him. I was like, yeah, this podcast is gonna be great. Like, if you ever want somebody, and he's like, yes. I'm like, oh shit, he thought I was
called
serious.
my bluff.
Called my bluff. I'm like, all right, time to come on.
Now, I always wanted to have you on. Actually, I would love to have like you, your dad on at the same time talking, and then maybe have like my dad. I don't know. It would be a clusterfuck, but it would be a fucking great time.
That would to hear like we talked about. Like, I've heard some of their stories, and I can only imagine what 78 to 80, or 77 to 80 was when my dad was in. So yours too, because I think they went to basic together too.
Yep.
But I can only imagine Fort Bragg then.
Oh, my mom sent me a picture of them.
Together. Numerous photos of your dad. Photos of your dad. Because my dad was a huge picture guy. So that was the one thing he told me when I joined. He was like, just take pictures.
Yeah, 100%.
I still have some, but not. He's got a ton of them.
A ton.
Oh, I got some good ones of your dad.
A ton. So you're a Army vet, and you're also a current officer, and you're on the SWAT team as well, or you're a sergeant, right?
Yeah, sergeant on my PD, and team leader on the SWAT team.
Let's go, brother. That's actually one of the best gigs ever to be on the SWAT team.
I love it.
Me too.
I mean, as much as we train and all the training we get, and the who we bring in for training, where we go for training, the instructors are just phenomenal. Like. For a couple years we had Steve Claggett, who was on Dallas SWAT. He was on the TV station,
right, or
the TV show. He trained us for a couple years. That dude was amazing and just a cool guy.
You can learn so much from these guys.
Oh,
so much.
Yeah, just amazing.
I actually went to quick side note here. When I went to Mid-South, there was a range instructor on there, and this dude would shoot upside down. And he would beat out anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like, one place I haven't been to, and I've been trying. But I heard they not shut it down.
I think it's on its way out.
Yeah, it's on its way out because I know ITOA started going somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it was the one place I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
I had never been.
I heard that there's going to be one like a shoot house around here. They're developing it now. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
I know.
But I don't know where.
I know the guy, so I'll hook you up with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, perfect. Because we're always looking for somewhere to train.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the beginning. You guys are getting sidetracked already.
Whenever I go on a tangent, just do that button. You're like, and I'm like, all right.
Give the air horn.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. My dad was a cop for 80 or 80. I think it was 81 to. I think he did 32 years, and so since I could remember as a kid, it was all just waiting for him to come home. And he would never tell me stories about work when I was always like, hey, what happened? Nothing. Good day.
Yeah.
All right. But I was always going to the PD or seeing the guys at the PD, you know, grew up in a small town. And so that's all. It's a funny thing. It's the only thing I pretty much ever wanted to do since I was a kid was be a cop or be in the military. Obviously, my father was in the military. Had a lot of family history in the military. Both my grandfathers were in. My grandmother's uncles were all in. Some during World War II, some during World War One. So being up in a very patriotic family, learning about that, hearing about those stories. Yeah, I can remember. I want to say it was probably 6th, 7th grade because it was before two of my good friends moved. We wanted to go to a military academy, and because we would dress up in camo and everything and play Army and stuff. And I remember like coming home and telling my dad, I'm like, we want to go to the military academy, like a high school military academy.
Right.
He's like, what? He's like, you want to leave your parents for 4 years? And I was like, oh, I guess not.
Oh, that's what that entails.
Yeah. So I guess I have to do school. But no, I just always wanted to be in the military or be in the police. I thought it was, you know, it was the right thing to do.
Right. So that was always your path carved out for you.
Pretty much. There's really nothing else that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, barely got through high school. Kids, if you're listening to this, don't pay attention to that.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. Preferably my kids.
Yes.
And then when I went to college for at COD, you know, my basic classes I could really obviously care less about, but it was all the police classes I really paid attention to and got better grades in, and then I left that.
Yeah.
To join the Army.
That a boy.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah. Well, I went in late though. I was 21 when I went in.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's actually the same time when I joined too. 21.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird, right?
Yeah.
Going through basic with a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds. You're
Yeah.
like, what the hell are you guys crying about?
Right. When I went to my first station, they're like, how old are you? I'm like 21. They're like, thank God. We don't have to give you that talk. We'll give you the advanced talk.
Yeah, I remember, like, I know we're going to talk about this later, but like one of the funniest stories in basic was when we got one of our passes. I think it was after we graduated basic before AIT, because I did one station unit training. I was one of the oldest ones. I think there was only one other guy older than me, and he went AWOL right before graduation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was an idiot. But so I made a ton of money on our pass because nobody could buy beer.
Oh,
So they were all coming up to my room like, hey, can you go buy us a case of beer? I'm like, yeah, sure. You got to pay me this.
For a fee.
Yeah.
It was a price, brother.
Yeah, going when they're older was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But honestly, at the same time, I think maybe I took it a little bit more serious then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, my dad gave me some words of advice, and the best piece of advice he gave me was like, it's all a mind game.
Yep, 100%.
He's like, just remember that. It's all a mind game. And obviously for the first month or so, I did not remember that. But after that, it's all a mind game.
Yeah.
They're just there to mess with you.
No, 100%.
Right. Yeah.
We'll talk about the Army. Let's roll into your basic.
Signed up for the military in late November or December 2000, and I left for basic February. I can't remember the exact dates. February 2001. Or no, I'm sorry. February 2000 I left. So 99 I signed up, did the whole MEPS thing, walk like a duck.
Yep.
Pull your butt cheeks apart to have some weird dude look at your butthole. That's always the best part of it.
It's always the best part of MEPS.
Yeah. And then went down to Fort Riley or Fort Leonard Wood, did one station unit training where I did basic and AIT. Didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into. I was just in shock, but that's what they want you to do.
Yeah, for sure.
They want you to be. So did that, graduated actually on the Army's birthday, June 14th. God, if I screw that up, I'm going to be so...
Google, can you look that up?
But it was the Army's birthday we graduated on.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was neat. It was a good time. And then right when I was in, because I signed up, so when I went to MEPS and I was doing the whole how long you be in for, I was like, oh, I have no idea. And they're like, well, if you sign up for 4 years or longer, you could pick your duty station. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to Fort Bragg. 'Cause that's where our dads were at. And then they're like, well, we're doing this program where you could sign up for 2 years, and it's not bad because you do your basic training in AIT, which is 6 months, and then you only have a year and a half left. Then you can decide if you want to go out and stand for longer. I'm like, oh, perfect, I'll do that. But your duty station was picked, needs of the Army. So found out. I mean, I don't know how you guys did it in the Coast Guard, but found out. I think it was in basic where our duty stations were at. They all sat us down. They're like, oh, you're going here. Half of my company was going to Korea, shit like that. And then they're like, Kringley, Fort Riley, Kansas. And I'm like, where in the hell is that?
Right.
And I remember my dad was really good because all of his family was good when he was in basic. It was sending mail. And
Right.
Mail day was the greatest. And
Absolutely.
he would just send me letters and letters and letters. And I remember when I told him I was going to Fort Riley, he literally sent me like a manila envelope, like stacked. And he had printed off stuff about Fort Riley and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
So got to learn about Fort Riley there. So I went to Fort Riley, Kansas, and stayed there from, July. Well, I came home for like a month. So July of 2000 to December of 2001. Worked the road there. And it's funny when people ask, like, oh, you were an MP, what'd you do? I did exactly pretty much what I'm doing now.
Right.
Before I got there, because I was there obviously prior to September 11th, Fort Riley was an open post, just like almost every Army base was. And Fort Riley's right off I-70 in Kansas. And the NCO clubs and some of the clubs on post, not really an NCO club anymore, but some of the clubs on post were known. Like there were so many people would come from Kansas City to come on to Fort Riley to go to these. It was
That
crazy.
popular, huh?
Oh, so like all the stuff that even you dealt with on Romeoville, gangs, murders, everything happened on Army post. I mean, same thing happened at Bragg in the 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
But so yeah, we were like when I go out on patrol. So we would do my platoon. I was in the 977th MP company. We would do, I think it was 3 months on the road, and then you did. It's been a while, but then you did like 3 months where you did like weapons cleaning, all the BS around the company area, and then you do 3 months in the field, but you weren't in the field the whole 3 months, whatever. But for the 3 months you're on the road, you do a month of days, 7 to 3, month of 3 to 11, and then month of 11 to 7. But yeah, you just answer calls.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I mean, it was had some fun, but trying to think of any. Most of our fun stories were, I mean, now they can't do it now because the politically correct, but the hazing stuff and
Right.
just like I guess when we first went to the field, so we would do it where you would initiate new people into the platoon. You would do it when we were on the road. We'd just take you out drinking, whatever. But in the field, yeah, that's when I got bum rushed and pretty much dogpiled and picked on. First field cycle, taped my lieutenant to a cot while he was sleeping. That was great.
Oh, there you go. How
Yeah,
fast was he?
You know what? Lieutenant, I was just, the only reason I know this because I was just talking about it with my old squad leader the other day coming back from Tennessee. Lieutenant Johnson was a good dude. Like he was pissed, but he was one of those, he's fresh. I think me and him got to the platoon at the same time. But he knew that it was part of the process. But yeah, duct tape to a cot. that was pretty fun. But
Could have been way worse.
yeah, well, it could have been, especially with my platoon. They were some great guys. But I'm trying to remember any memorable stories. Well, I really don't remember any.
Thing that stuck out.
Not while working the road. Like, I mean, we would go to the barracks all the time for the infantry guys and, the Cav scouts. And they would always be having fights, and everybody hated MPs. But nothing crazy.
Good old Cav Scouts.
Oh, that's right. Were you a Cav scout?
Oh, I was not.
Oh,
Never served.
No.
I thought you were. No. Oh, no.
No.
I was not. I'm
Phil,
not military.
Ralph made a joke. Was it
Yeah.
no, what was that?
It was for the cavalry.
The cavalry, yeah.
For the horse they never rode, the line they never crossed.
Maybe I totally did not listen to the whole podcast, but I thought you were in the Marines. I thought you served in the Marines.
No.
No, he's in like
We had a guy on here that was a Marine.
ADD. Sorry.
Yeah, we had a Marine on. Maybe that's what you're connecting it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I stayed there at Riley. It was towards the end of my contract, and I had two of my friends that were in my platoon that came down on orders for Europe, and I was 22 at the time, single. I mean, I obviously family back here, and I was like, hell, if you guys are going, and the re-enlistment people, they try to, I don't know if it's the same for the Coast Guard. Like when you come up with towards the end of your contract, they're trying to get you to re-enlist like crazy.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
I mean, for you guys, it's probably weird. They probably just give you Speedos and
stuff. And floaties.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just go in the pool.
Yeah. Wait, were you in the Coast Guard before that Kevin Costner movie came out with?
Yeah, after.
You were after. So that's what got you to join the Coast Guard. Did you watch that movie? And like,
I did watch it, but it's not what pushed me to go in the Coast Guard.
He's lying. That was his inspiration.
That's the only reason I would join the Coast Guard. Be like, that movie, that show looked cool.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
What's that tattoo? It's for everyone to know behind me what place they're coming in. It's like the number 2 tattooed on the back of his tricep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking tool. Also, too, it's like, when you was it your MOS, right?
Yeah.
So your MOS training, did you ever go out drinking with like your sergeant major or anything like that?
During training?
Yeah, because that's how it wasn't when he was in his MOS.
Oh,
his
no.
Yeah, he went drinking with his senior chief.
Yeah, that's why
that never happens.
Yeah, that should never happen. No, because we were all locked down. There was no drinking then, but yeah. So I had two buddies that came out on orders to go to Europe. And I was like, yeah, screw it. So I re-enlisted for 4 years to go to Europe, which you're not, can't really pick where you go.
Right.
So, and then it came down that my one buddy got stationed in Belgium and never saw him. And then my other buddy, right before he was getting ready to ship out, tested positive for weed.
Oh, you can't do that.
No. Apparently you cannot do, yeah, found that out when I did drug investigations in Germany. You're not allowed to do that.
Turns out the Army frowns upon that.
Frowns upon that. So he never went. So re-enlisted 4 years to go to Germany. And right before I left, I remember I went to the Army, for all you people listening, it's called Criminal Investigation Division. It's CID. It's kind of like the TV show NCIS.
Yeah.
That's the Army version of CID. So that's what our dads did in the Army. They did drug investigations. So I went to the CID office at Fort Riley, and I was like, hey, I'm getting ready to PCS to Germany. My dad did this in the late 70s. Any way how do I get to do this?
Right.
And I don't remember exactly what they said, but it was kind of like the runaround. And I was like, I guess I'm not going to get it. Long story short, I have no idea how it happened. Luck of God, knock on wood. I got stationed in Germany, and I got stationed in Ansbach, Germany, which is just, if I look at a map, I think it was west of Nuremberg, like an hour. And I was stationed with the MP company there, but assigned to the CID office. So for 2 years, I did drug investigations in Germany.
Let's go.
Which is, yeah. So that was a fun time. I will say, young 20 or, early 20s, and
right.
They just, a blur. But I learned a lot. So when I was there, I was the only drug investigator for a while at my office. So any soldier that pissed hot on a urinalysis, I had to interview.
Yeah.
And so it was a very small post. So couldn't really go do undercover work because everyone, whenever I went around, people were like, oh, you're the police guy. But yeah, interviewed them all. Apparently soldiers think that if they go to Amsterdam and do drugs, because it's legal there, it's legal for them.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's
right.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. Right?
Turns out it's not.
Yeah. So I did some undercover drug work there. Went to Schweinfurt, Germany, I think it was. And we did like a month-long drug op. That was very interesting, buying drugs for the legally, I would say. Not that I've ever illegally bought drugs, but so the first time I think I threw up.
Really?
Yeah. I was so nervous.
Right.
I had to, and obviously this is going back 20 years, so I could probably talk about it. But yeah, I was buying 20 pills of ecstasy off a dude. I was so nervous. This is funny. You'll love this. Sit down, meet the guy at a bar, and I meet him, and we go to sit down. It's kind of like a booth with a table and some chairs, and he's like, "All right, sit down." And he points to the chair. I go, "No, I don't sit there. I sit my back to the wall."
Oh,
Like typical cop move, right?
yeah, right.
He's like, "What?" I go, "No, I just sit my." He's like, "Oh, okay." Like just talking out my ass. And then like the first thing he asked me when he sits down, he goes, "You know, if you're a cop, you got to tell me, right?" I go, "Yeah, I'm not a cop." He's like, "All right, let's go do this."
It worked.
It worked. I was like, "All right, whatever." So I did that. Yeah, and I remember walking back out to my UC car, and we all planned to meet back at the CID office. And I just remember I was just like, oh, I was just ralphed. I was so nervous. I was like, can't believe that worked. Can't believe, like, I thought I was going to get killed or something.
Now, this was a soldier, or was this?
It was a soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah. We only, it was mainly U.S. soldiers. And then we did investigate, because every now and then they would give us like who was selling them, like the Germans that were selling it to them, and then we'd give it to the Polizei.
Oh, there you go.
Like those dudes are no joke.
No joke.
Dude, German Polizei are no joke. Like they are serious, and
Strictly business.
yeah, they are.
So did that guy think
I
you?
feel like Germany has like a long-standing history of really strict police.
I wonder. What are you talking about?
I don't know where.
What?
I didn't really pay attention to history. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was actually going to ask you. So you said you were stationed by Nuremberg.
Yeah.
Is that like a mecca to the MPs? Like you guys traveled to Nuremberg just to see what you guys did there?
We would travel there. I mean, I don't know if it was considered. I mean, I don't know if it was considered a mecca for the MPs, but I would go there for history.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
The Nuremberg trials.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, I'm stationed by Nuremberg. Like, we got to go check it out.
Like we would go there because it was the biggest, obviously, city around us, and then the concerts. But yeah, they still have the building where they did the Nuremberg trials. That's still up.
Yeah, right.
I want to say they do like tours there. I don't remember going in it. I remember being in the stadium, in the Coliseum or the stadium in Nuremberg, and I remember walking around, and they have like the podium, and you're just walking around, and you're like, oh, this is where Hitler did some speeches, like right here.
I can't think of the name of that place, but yeah, that's like the big one.
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah, what do they call it? Doesn't matter.
Dude, it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But no, like Nuremberg's huge history-wise. I mean, there's still the wall around it. I mean, it's a beautiful city.
The population there, the citizens are all like rule followers. I've heard.
Yeah.
Like my mom's cousin, he went over to Germany. I can't remember where he was staying. Doesn't matter. And he crossed the street, and this old lady started yelling at him, calling him like a murderer or baby killer because he crossed the street at not like a pedestrian crosswalk. He like, she like lost it on him.
I mean, they are. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember getting yelled at for killing a baby while crossing the street when I was there, but I do like they are. I mean, I remember driving. I remember so like the first time. So my dad was. He wasn't born. He lived in Germany for 2 years because my grandfather was stationed there.
Okay.
In Heidelberg. But I remember my grandmother and everybody talking about like the Autobahn.
Yeah.
Well, I think of the Autobahn, and I thought it was just a street.
No, it's like an expressway, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Oh. And so I didn't know that the Autobahn was their highway.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it's called. So I remember driving on the Autobahn for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I could go as fast as I want.
Right, there's no speed limit.
There is. So the way I describe it is like there is a speed limit through like cities and towns, but like when it's open, like so say if you're driving down 55, like past south of 30, then it'll be no speed limit. But if you're driving like from 55, say like 294 to Cass, it'll be a higher speed limit, but there will be.
Gotcha.
But there are sections that there's no speed limit, and it's just ridiculous. And over there, like. The one thing that they do that they are crazy strict about is their driving.
Oh,
I remember driving in the left lane, flying, doing like 100, and that's slow for over there. And I remember like one of the first times, and I see somebody flash their brights behind me, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And this dude, within a second and a half, is on my ass,
Really?
like riding my ass, doing like 100. And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh," so I get over. Yeah, if you flash your brights at somebody like 2 blocks ahead or like half mile ahead, they will get over. Like Germans will get over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't pass on the right there
That's weird
whatsoever.
because when I drive to Chicago, they don't do that.
No.
No, dude, they're like he's saying, they're super strict about driving over there. Like
Yeah.
everybody's like, it's like eating and drinking. They don't do while driving. I mean,
No.
it might be different now, but yeah, like for the longest time, German cars didn't even have cup holders in them because it's like when you're driving, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah, I remember hearing that they had to, like, it costs a lot for them to get their driver's license, because they didn't, they just want anybody getting their driver's license. But I don't know if that's true. That's what I heard. But yeah, they take it seriously. Like I love Germany though. It was beautiful. The history,
Oh, I bet.
just everything. So I'm trying to think of anything.
Sound like a blast.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're in your young 20s.
Oh,
Your early 20s, you're single, and I was paid by the Army to go to bars and to try to buy drugs.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Oh. I'm alive, so
You did well for yourself.
Yeah, I did well. No, I'm just, yeah, it was fun. I do remember going over the first time when I first got there. I remember going to the mall. One, they don't believe in a no smoking section.
Okay.
Everything, you just smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
It's funny. But I remember going to the store. I was buying stuff, and I go up to her, and this is back when they still sold CDs. And I remember, like, when you go to like Best Buy, and you would see like the different sections, like classical, country music, blah blah blah. They're, instead of rap, I thought it was the weirdest. I took a picture of it, and I think I sent it to my buddy back home. It's black music.
That's what it's called.
I was like, what? I was like, seriously? Yes, it was black music.
That's the title.
Yes, it was, and it was all the rap. I was like,
like American artists?
yes,
Really?
yes. I was like,
They're probably. I mean, Germany is like they're probably pretty straightforward.
they are, they are
Apparently.
not a. I mean, I mean, obviously they weren't overtly racist, but yeah, that I was like, that was shocking to me. I was like,
Right.
oh my god.
You can't say that.
No, and I was like, you're not. Oh, it's your country. You can do it. Well, that was weird, but no, Germany. The only thing that I regret was that when I told one of my buddies who's a squad leader at Riley that I was being stationed over there, and obviously everybody in the military, if they go over to Europe, he's like, listen, he goes, what you need to do, you're single, get a map and get a bunch of pins and just start traveling.
Oh, that's smart.
And
Because you could drive anywhere, right?
yeah, and it's you could buy a rail pass, like a train pass, because I was in southern Germany, but you could pretty much buy a rail pass for, I mean, it was cheap. I can't even think. I mean, it was less than $50,
Yeah.
and you could travel almost anywhere in Germany all weekend,
That's cool.
and you could just go town to town. Did I do that? No,
Oh man, you should have done that. You should.
I
have
should have.
Italy. You should have been going to France.
I should have. I went to Salzburg, I went to Salzburg, Austria. I saw the Eagle's Nest. Was not able to get up there because you're only able to get up to the Eagle's Nest when it's really nice out because the road that goes up there is crazy.
I seen Band of Brothers.
Yeah, so great. But I saw it. Was able to see it. Went there and then went to southern France. My CID office, which was really cool. We did a military tour where Audie Murphy's unit came up and landed in France, and then his path.
No shit.
Yeah, so it was like
That's
southern.
really cool.
Yeah, it was southern France. It was like Nice.
Yeah.
That was really, the French hated us because it was right after. Oh, that was ADD.
Get the air horn out.
Yeah. One of my probably the biggest story when I was at Fort Riley is when September 11th happened.
Oh.
So I was working midnights, 11 to 7. So worked September 10th till into September 11th. Got off at 7 a.m. Went to the chow hall to get breakfast and went back to my barracks room and fell asleep because I had to work that night. And I remember getting, like, they were pounding on my door, And our rule was, if you're off, you're off. Don't answer your door because they're going to pull you for some detail or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sleeping. And they're like, we're getting attacked. And I'm like, what? And I still, to this, I always joke about it with my dad sometimes. I woke up and all I heard was, we're being attacked. And I called my dad, who's in Illinois.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, why are you calling me? Or something. He's like, look at the TV.
He's like, shouldn't you be telling me what's going
Yes.
on?
So then, yeah, we went down to the day room, and I want to say I got down to the day room right when the second tower fell.
Oh, shit.
And it was just like, oh, shit.
We were going to school.
Yeah. So I was actually home from school because my great-grandmother's funeral was the day prior.
Yeah. I remember I woke up and I walked into the living room and my mom was watching and the plane hit. I was like, holy shit, what is going on? That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Why are you calling me?
Yeah. So, like, when I was a young kid, I watched the space shuttle Challenger blow up on TV. When I was in school, they wheeled in the TV. We're like, yeah, we get to see a space shuttle. And it was at 86, so I was 8. And
Just traumatizing all the freaking kids.
I was just sitting there going, I don't think it's supposed to happen.
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Yeah. And then, September 11th. And so I worked the street that night in full battle rattle.
Oh, I bet.
Which was, for everybody who doesn't know, a helmet,
Full kit,
everything. And instead of having us in our squad cars with little Impalas, they had us in Humvees with lights. Or no lights. Yeah, I don't think we had lights in our Humvees. And they were like, okay, go work like this. And we're like, what? We're supposed to answer calls in a Humvee? Like, what? They didn't know.
That's the worst.
Talk about a change of pace.
Oh,
overnight.
How would you like to answer calls in your SWAT kit?
I would not.
It'd be miserable.
But yeah, it was a change of pace because obviously then every Army post or probably every military installation went closed. So they closed down all the posts. And I remember that they do not have the MPs manning the gates anywhere. They have the infantry guys. And I remember they didn't really trust them. So they had rifles with no magazines.
It's like the National Guard.
Yeah. We were like, what are they supposed to do? So
Just throw it at them.
They didn't trust them.
Yeah. So backwards. Yeah, that's where I was at in 9/11. So that was interesting.
That was a good backtrack. I was actually going to ask you about it, but then my ADD kicked in and I forgot. So after Germany, where'd you go?
So I got promoted to sergeant right before I left Germany, and I think I called the Department of the Army and asked what was available, and they gave me a list of places that were available, and I really didn't know of any. I mean, I knew some military installations for being in for 4 years, but I asked my boss at the time. I was like, "Hey, which one of these is cool?"
Yeah,
and he's in Fort Sam Houston, Texas. I'm a big country music fan.
same.
And he's like, and he came from Fort Sam Houston, and he's like, go there.
Really?
I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, okay. So I call him up and said, I will go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas. So I was trying to, we tried to work it out to where I was going to work for CID down there. And long story short, did not happen. But I went to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, and I worked protected personal security for worked PSD for 2 years for a 2-star general for U.S. Army South.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so got down there, and they sent me to PSD school, so I went back to Fort Leonard Wood for PSD school for a couple weeks, maybe a month, can't remember. And then pretty much from, 02 to 04 was Germany, so 04 to mid 05, I was pretty much in Central and South America for every month.
Which is a great time.
Oh, it was fun. It was interesting. Got to see a lot. Working security for the general was amazing. But yeah, I got to see a lot of down there. Like, I think I'm probably wrong, but I pretty much went to every Central and South American country besides Venezuela, because we weren't allowed to go there. And
Colombia?
No, we've been to Colombia numerous times. We went to Bogota like 4 times. Venezuela, and I want to say Argentina, because I went to Chile. I didn't go to Argentina.
Oh, I heard it's a beautiful place. But before we continue, let's take a quick break, all right?
Yeah, cool. So my boss at U.S. Army South, the two-star general, that was his area of operation, and pretty much in charge of all the, I wouldn't say all the drug trafficking, not to get rid of all the drug trafficking or whatever, but he would go. We would have to go visit embassies and go into the jungles and stuff like that to visit outposts and everything. So it was interesting, planning all the trips and
Yeah, because you probably had to do like a security plan for each like routes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we would go when I first got there. When I first got out of school, it was pretty much I was not the PSO, which was flying with him.
PSO is
personal security officer.
gotcha.
So, which would be you were next to the general the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We would be planning the trip, booking the flights, contacting the embassies, letting them know we were there, and we would do the advance. So for I want to say it was like every day he was in country, the advance team would be there for 2 or 3 days. So we would get there pretty much a week before, and we would meet up with the embassy. Hey, he's going to go here, here, and here, and we'd have to plan the routes. Where the hospitals are at, all that stuff. For the most part, it was all, because he would travel so much, they were all pretty much done. But any new country was a little bit interesting. I forgot what Central America, I think it was Nicaragua we went to. And I remember driving in the truck with him. And we had to make the flight back, and it was a tough turnaround. And we were driving about 70 in the oncoming traffic. And we were just trying to get him. He was a very liberal general. And we were like, don't look, because you don't want to see what's going to happen.
Sir, close your eyes, please.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Going to see all these different countries. Colombia was amazing. Colombia was a beautiful country.
Oh, I bet it was. Now, would you guys switch positions? You said you weren't the PSO at that point.
Yeah.
But would
So
you guys rotate?
as my time progressed there, and as I got up, not in rank but seniority, and if my boss, I think there was Fernandez, me, Shoki, Ski, and Barry. There's 5 of us. One guy was pretty much the driver while we were in country, and then. But if my boss wasn't going, since I was the senior one there, I would be his PSO. So
Gotcha.
I would fly whenever he would fly out. We would fly from like Fort Sam Houston to Dallas to wherever. I would fly with him, and he had an aide.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you switched positions.
No, this is all military flights.
No, civilian.
No? So how? So
American Airlines all the way, baby.
So what would be like your? I guess a loadout, but it wouldn't be a loadout. What's you be wearing kit? You'd just be wearing civilian clothes.
Yeah, we were. If you flew, we were able to not fly armed. We were able to bring our weapons with us.
Check it.
And check it in.
Yeah.
If you were flying with the boss, you could fly armed.
Really?
Yeah, that was interesting. It wasn't that bad. You just had to let them know. But it was because it's civilian or it's commercial flights. You still have to. You check it in, let them know. You bring all your paperwork, but then the pilots have the final say.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So at the very, none of them said no.
No. Yeah.
But,
they probably felt better.
Yeah,
with you guys
but
on
they
board.
could be like, I know.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Yeah.
You guys would be using those rounds, right? The ones that don't penetrate through.
Frangible rounds.
Yeah, frangible. No, it'd just be right.
I only knew about frangible rounds when I got out of my police department. But no, we just had normal. We didn't even have. We just had ball ammo.
Yeah. Were you guys using like Berettas or?
No, we had when I first joined, my MP career was an M9 Beretta, and then when I got to CID, then it was the SIG, not the 320.
So 229.
Yeah, I think it was the 229.
Is that the 40?
No, it was 45.
Well, they have different calibers.
Yeah,
for it,
yeah. I
but
just didn't know which
Yeah.
one.
229. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was about the time they switched to
Yeah,
the 229.
The
But-
40.
like the
What-
old school 229 where you had the decocking lever and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I like the SIG. That's what I carry now. Yeah, so I only flew armed maybe once or twice.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I got to see some beautiful countryside. I remember going, probably one of the funniest trips was we went to, the boss came to us, and I was in charge then, because I think my boss was on leave or whatever. And he's like, hey, or his aide came to us. He's like, hey, we need to go to Suriname. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like history. I like geography. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, Suriname is on the northeastern part of South America.
Okay.
It's a very small country. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, make it happen. Awesome. So I call up the embassy, and they're like, you're what? I was like, boss wants to come there for, a couple days. And they're like, you haven't been here in like years. I was like, I don't know. They won't want to come. And not that Suriname was not a very, they don't, I think at that time, I remember they were just like, you're not very well liked here. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, we have 2 flights a week that come in, and
Wow.
pretty much all of them lose your baggage. Like, all right. So,
Good to know.
I remember making, and me and my buddy were advanced on that trip. And I remember making booking the flights, and the flight that they said didn't lose your baggage, we flew from San Antonio, because we always flew pretty much American.
Mm-hmm.
And it was either San Antonio to Dallas or San Antonio to Miami. And then we flew from Miami to Amsterdam. Flew from Amsterdam, then we connected with Suriname Airways.
Oh,
And flew Suriname Airways from Amsterdam to Suriname.
how was that airplane?
That was an interesting air flight there.
Please don't tell me it was a prop plane.
No. It was just packed, and hot. It was not a fun flight there. I just remember, because we were sitting coach.
Yeah,
It was
well,
not fun.
That's probably like a 10-hour flight too.
Yeah.
Gross.
But the flight back was amazing, because, and I would think I was just telling my daughters this, because actually my youngest loves when I tell a story. So the flight back, so we're advanced, and we got to meet, all the embassy who he's meeting. He always meets generals down there and all that stuff, and get set up with their political advisors and their connections. Well, made good friends with, the guy at the embassy there, who hooked us up on the flight back with first class tickets.
Let's go.
And there was, I think it was like 4, because it was me. Yeah, I wasn't the PSO. So it was me. So the 4 that got the seats were me, the general's aide, the general, and the PSO. It may have been 5, because I can't remember if Shoki got up there or not. And we get up there, and so we're on the way back, fly back from Suriname, Amsterdam back. So we're flying back, Suriname, and this is the biggest plane I've ever been on.
Really?
They get us, they take us way, we're in the VIP lounge of the airport, everything, and they're like, okay, let's go. And the general's got political advisors that are GS. I don't know what GS stands for, but it's government jobs that these guys are make a lot of money.
GS-13 or something like that.
They're we
there.
always call them GS. Oh my gods,
Yeah,
they were so high up.
Yeah.
And they weren't up in first class, so they escort us, the 4 of us, maybe 5, and we go through the galley or whatever, and then they take us upstairs. And I'm like, I've never been on a double-decker plane before, and they take us upstairs, and it's first class, and it's just like
The whole thing is?
yes. And I'm like, oh my, and the chairs recline almost all the way.
Let's go.
Yeah, and there's 2 seats per aisle, 2 seats behind. And I'm like, oh, and I'm sitting next, and it's funny because the general and his aide had no idea we did this. We were just like, hey, we got these seats. And I remember I was sitting next to the general's aide. It was General Hancock, or Captain Hancock. And he's like, how did you get these? And I was like, they hooked us up. Her name hooked us up. He's like, well, the boss is pissed because his political advisor is not up here with him. I'm like, meh. He's like, I don't care.
Right. What do you
So we get up there, and first class, they bring us a menu, and they have all the booze you can have, and it was
Were
fun.
you guys able to partake?
Oh yeah, on the way back we were.
Yeah.
Because the captain's, or the general's aide, Captain Hancock, was good. He was like, all right, let's do some Johnny Walker.
Let's
That's
go.
another ADD moment. Central and South Americans love Johnny Walker.
Really?
No idea. Every time they would come up to San Antonio, like we would have to stock Johnny Walker.
I have a little Johnny Walker Black if you want to.
I'm not a huge,
go
like, I
down memory
drank it a lot
lane.
over there, but yeah, they would Johnny Walker. I
Really?
had no idea why. I was like, huh, interesting. But on the way back, I remember I'm sitting there and I was asleep at the time, and I'm reclined, probably obviously not my buckled in or whatever. And we hit turbulence, and I remember waking up, and I was like a foot or two, kind of like how your story is, where you got hit in the thing. But I remember, no, obviously not as bad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But I remember waking up and like Hancock's hand was on my forearm because I was like lifting because we hit turbulence, and I was like, oh my God. It was crazy.
Flying with Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, Suriname was a crazy country. That was pretty much it there. So lived in Texas, got married, first wife there. And it's always funny because she was under the assumption that I was getting out. And I actually was. I was getting ready to get out. And I had a buddy who I was stationed with at Fort Riley who now worked for the Department of the Army for, say orders, but he was one of the ones that would assign where people go. And he called me, and I hadn't talked to this dude in probably 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And he called me up out of the blue and was like, hey, I have a job if you're interested. I go, bro, I haven't talked to you.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, there's a job that opens up and you have a top secret security clearance, which I had to get working CID when I was in Germany. And he's like, you're one of the few ones that have it. And if you want it, it's yours. I go, what is it? He goes, working at the Pentagon. And I go, oh.
I'm in.
Okay. He's like, but he's like, I think I had like I just had 6 months. He's like, you have 6 months, you have to re-enlist for another year. Or I think it was 2 at that time. Because it's a year tour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, well, let me talk to my wife. We talked it over. She's like, hey, I'm like, hey, this is a once in a lifetime who gets to work at the Pentagon, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah.
And so we did that. And I worked, I can't remember the actual unit or can't remember what, but I worked pretty much, I call it glorified security for the National Military Command Center, where we also we had to do checks in the Pentagon for different offices and worked in the Joint Chiefs offices, where we would go up there. We would pretty much, on midnights and everything, we would have to do checks of the offices to make sure they were locked and everything. But every night they'd have a cleaning crew come in after hours to clean all the Joint Chiefs offices. And we'd have to escort them in there because obviously they can't be in there with all the classified stuff. So that was really interesting.
So you had to follow them around.
Yeah, we had to follow them around, but that was, I mean, I was still young, but, sitting in the Joint Chiefs, chairman of the Joint Chiefs office, like, hey, okay. Like to me though, it was interesting seeing their coins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like when I first got there, and you got to meet a lot of interesting people, but General Myer was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs when I first got there, and he had, I'm not lying, he had a plexiglass case, which was probably maybe like a foot tall, maybe, and maybe a little bigger than that, and like a 1.5 feet, 2 foot wide, filled.
Really?
I mean, everybody gives them coins, but it's just stacked. Coolest coin I ever saw there was right before I left. It was, I'll probably screw up his name. He was the vice chairman. I can't even pronounce his name. He was a Navy guy. I was in his office cleaning or whatever. I'm looking at his coin. Just, what kind does he have? And it was a black coin, and it had a Command Sergeant Major logo on the front. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I turned it over, and it was the Delta Force logo.
Really?
And I was like,
right.
Because ADD, when our dads were at Bragg, that's right after Delta Force or CAG was formed.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, 77.
Wow.
Yeah, because I wanted, you'd have to ask your dad, because my dad was there. They were doing range stuff, because I remember my dad saying, like, they were coming down they had to block, the MPs had to block off the road for them to do training. Yeah.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah. So anyways, worked there for a year. I mean, the Pentagon's huge. It's a little city. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, God.
You name it, it's in there. I mean, they had not I should say every store, but I mean they had a huge food court. I want to say if you Google it, it's the largest office building I think in the world.
Really?
I don't know.
It is massive.
It's huge. But it was interesting getting to see. I mean, every day it's just all officers that work there pretty much. And the one cool thing about the National Military Command Center, whether I don't know if I can say this or not, but in the back where secure, that's where they had the tank. You know, where they have like this the good briefings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. I didn't get to see it, but we got to go up to where we got buzzed in afterwards. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a plane hit in 9/11 as well. Did you actually walk through the remodeled portion, or was that still under construction?
No. That was all rebuilt when I got there. And yeah, you could. When we first got there, we all got a tour of it, the whole Pentagon, and then they take it. It's a memorial now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. I mean, it's oh shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to Ground Zero, but to the Pentagon. Yeah, that was.
I've been to Ground Zero. It's eerie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's real, like no one talks. It's real quiet, and they have like the waterfall going in the center where the tower is, and then they have all the names.
Yeah,
and then it's actually
I've seen it. I just never.
It's sad because then it's like you see a woman's name, and then it's like with newborn. Yeah, it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know it's. I'm not a big fan of New York, but whatever.
It's all right.
That if I ever went to New York, that's the only reason I would go.
Right.
Is Ground Zero, and then I'd probably leave.
In the museum, there's a museum there too.
Yeah.
You should check out.
I mean, the Ground Zero
cool
stuff, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
maybe a few pizza places. You don't like pizza?
Fuck New York pizza. See, I can't answer. Fuck New York pizza.
It's too floppy for you.
Thin bullshit.
He wants that hearty deep dish.
Yeah.
Put some meat on your bones.
Yeah, exactly. What were we talking about? Oh, so they have their own memorial there of where it was hit, and I want to say they have the names and stuff. So that was interesting. The Pentagon's fucking huge,
massive.
Because we worked in shifts there, so I think we worked odd shifts because the traffic in DC is horrible.
Oh, disgusting.
You think traffic in Chicago was bad? 10 times worse than DC.
I just recently went. It's miserable.
Yeah. But so our hours were really weird. It was staggered. But we worked 3 shifts, 3 8-hour shifts. But the midnight shift, it was pretty much just going to check offices and stuff like that. But it was just cool getting to see who you get to see a lot of interesting and meet a lot of interesting. The chair. I mean, who often gets to see the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, vice
Absolutely.
chairman? General Peter Pace was amazing guy. So I did my tour there, and left there.
What year was this when you left?
Late 05.
Yeah.
Maybe. And we were getting out. And so anybody that had less than a year left or right around a year left, we went to Fort Myer, Virginia.
Okay.
I think there was only 2 of us went to Fort Myer, Virginia. And then from there I did, I think it was about a year there. There was a platoon that worked the road there, but I was in a platoon and I had to go, which is weird, at the end of my career. I had to go back because for 3rd Infantry Division at Fort Myer, they do all the funerals at Arlington.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have the caisson platoon, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Yeah.
They have those and everything. So I had to go back to a week-long marching school. I was an E5. I had a year left in the military. And I had to go back and it was like learning how to march and salute and do your uniform again. And I was like,
this is disgusting.
This is horrible.
Yeah. It's the worst.
To my own horn, I went on a graduate of it. And it was all infantry people. And the infantry first sergeant was pissed. Right? How'd you let an MP get honor graduate? This is our school. So there, I mean, I just did little stuff. I did have the honor, I will say, is each company, even the infantry companies and the MPs, once a week we would fly to Dover, and we would have to take the bodies off the plane that were coming back.
It's put my foot in my mouth.
Not really cool. It was an honor to do it.
That's not cool. No, definitely not. Yes, an honor.
Yeah. it was. I mean, I was like, what? But yeah, it was an honor to do that. It was weird too because like prior to me being there, no families were allowed.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who was in charge when I was there. That they were allowing families to be on the tarmac.
Ooh,
And
that's heartbreaking.
yeah, that was tough. I mean, there was always we had so when you were up there, it was the Marines had a team there, the Navy, whatever, and you just escort each body. I mean, there was caskets coming all the time.
Oh God, man.
So I mean, that sucked, but it was an honor to do it. I think the other thing that was pretty cool there, working wise, was we would do PT a lot, and we would run from our company. Fort Myer, for everybody that doesn't know, was right behind Arlington Cemetery. And so in the morning, we would do PT at like 5, 6 a.m. and run through Arlington and run to Lincoln Memorial and back. And that was probably the coolest thing. One of the coolest things, Erie,
yeah,
is running through Arlington with the fog lift. Oh, sorry, with the fog lifting.
Oh man,
And it's
yeah.
just eerie.
I bet it's also a little bit of motivation too.
Oh, it is. Like
yeah.
you're not, you're falling out of that run.
No.
But it's just eerie running through that with the fog, running to Lincoln Memorial
Yeah.
and back. So that was cool. So yeah, I got out February. I want to say it was Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2007. And came back home. My wife at the time was living, she left before me. And prior to us getting married, she lived in Bloomington, Illinois.
Okay.
She graduated from ISU. And she went back there and was working at her old job. And so moved to Bloomington, Illinois. And it was shortly after I got back where she let me know that first daughter was going to get born. Let me know at a Blackhawks game.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet you were.
Had it on the Jumbotron and everything.
That's actually pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, so got back there. And while I can't remember I think I was testing while I was in the Army. Because it was like I was getting out. I was like, oh, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
My dad's like, oh, you should just test for whatever. Test for a lot of police departments. So I was testing for a department up by where we grew up. And then, I'm sorry. I was testing for McLean County Sheriffs, which is the county that where Bloomington's at. While I was in, I was testing for them. Ended up not making them. Moved back. Tested for another PD up by us. And I tested for normal PD. I failed their test. There's the only one that I've ever done. It was a Scantron. Yeah, they took you into, I want to say it was normal. Because I don't think it was, it wasn't Bloomington, it was normal. They took you into the gym, you did the Scantron test, and you walked out, you had a little Scantron card. He's like, all right, I'm going to run through the machine. If you pass, I'm going to let you know, and you're going to come back for your PT test in like an hour. If you fail, I'll let you know. And I failed. Oh, okay. So
Good to know.
Yeah, good to know. I mean, it was quick. It was nice. At least you knew right then.
Yeah, right.
But I can't remember how long after that it was that I got hired by a local PD up by us. And I went to the academy April.
And local PD is Chicagoland area.
Yeah, west suburb. Went to the academy April to June. And worked for that PD for, I think it was like 15 or 18 months.
Yeah, you and I went to the academy at the same time.
Oh, really?
I went to April, yeah. I started in April.
Where'd you go?
Cook County.
No.
Triton College.
No, then we would have been in the same academy class.
Not the same year, brother.
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, you haven't been kept that long?
You didn't know it? You guys were both in the academy
Yeah,
together?
what the hell?
We started
ADD.
the same month, sorry.
I missed it. Yeah, no, I went to Cook County as well.
Oh, did you really?
Who are your instructors?
And
Who's your main instructor? Ha, hey,
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
Oh, can we say that?
I just did. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of him. So
was he working out when you were there?
Was he like
crazy
because
working out?
he got chubby. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's a good guy. I just don't like him personally. When I went to the academy, and I'll make it quick because this is about you, not me.
No, it's fine.
I just didn't like his demeanor. So he actually got hurt. We were running with him. I think he hurt his hamstring, and he left. And then field took over. And I actually love. He was a good dude. He taught us like Krav Maga, all that stuff. And then he came back near the end of our academy.
okay.
So kind of when they stopped being hard on you and they kind of started
Yeah.
treating you like, you know, coworkers or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's like we were already kind of like in that stage of like just treating us like normal people. And he came back and he was like just a straight D-bag.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was like shitting on us, and it's not my favorite person.
It was kind of just different for me because when you went, did they make you dress up in your suit the first day?
Yeah, so
I can
first day-
remember.
yeah,
I think
it's
you talked about that in a
dress.
podcast.
Yes.
They didn't do that for us.
No.
So the first day you came in like your gray, in like your academy uniform and everything. And I just remember I just got out of the Army previously, and my last duty station obviously was doing my uniform.
Oh, so you were squared away.
So, and then I think there was 4 or 5 of us actually off camera. I could tell you about a guy that was in my academy class that went to Romeoville.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Can you say his name?
No.
No names.
I can write it down for you.
We'll talk afterwards.
He doesn't work there anymore. I know that.
Oh, okay.
But so there was like 4 or 5 of us that were in the military, so they made us squad leaders.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they would always get mad because I always had, I would always square away my uniform and everything and be good. I mean, I probably wasn't the best academy recruiter, probably wasn't. But that was easy for me. And then I remember like trying to drop us and everything. And I was like, okay, I can do push-ups all day.
Yeah,
long,
exactly.
Whatever.
They try to make it like a paramilitary. Because I remember going like, all right, this can be like when I was in basic. So like I was in the classroom sitting at the position of attention, and then they would come in like start joking and smoking. So it's like in the classroom they were fine with you, and then when you got out of the classroom is when if you messed up, then they would try and smoke you.
Yeah, I mean it was a decent academy. Because I had Lena Deeb. Deeb left right before we graduated because he went to do contracting work, I think. And last I heard, I think he's still doing that. And our range guy was Johnson. He was on their SWAT team.
Oh, okay.
And I just remember the one day at the range, he got called.
Johnson. I wonder if he was there when I was there.
I don't know if he's still.
He was an older gentleman. Our range guy was an older gentleman, so it was probably him.
He was an older guy, but I remember one of the days at the range, they had a SWAT call. So he was like, I gotta go, guys.
Oh, see you later.
Yeah, so somebody else to go over. So yeah, like the academy was a blur.
Yeah, but a bunch of good people. A lot of the
Nervous.
instructors were
I remember
awesome.
taking the state test. Because I hate.
Right.
Oh my
you just don't want to fail.
Yeah.
I think I got the one with had like all hazmat. And I'm like, oh, of course, this is the one I didn't. The one portion I did not study was hazmat.
I remember like you talking about it on the podcast, and I can't remember like which one I got. I just remember like just taking it, going, man, I gotta pass this thing.
Dude, same.
Like, oh, this is nervous.
Dude, afterwards I was like, I failed.
And then remember the podcast you were talking about? You're the guy that taught law. Was it Laird?
Yes.
The old Laird?
Yes. He's like, you might want to highlight this.
I can't believe like when I went through, he was like 80.
Yeah. He's
Like,
still there.
He was a great dude.
Did he call you guys potted plants?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God.
And he would just rip on every department that was there.
Yeah.
But anyways, so left there, went to the department I was on, had some, good times there. And then the PD that I'm at now was testing, and it's where my dad was at. And which
Big
like
Phil.
yeah. Which was interesting because like
Was Ponzi there?
he came there after I was there. I had been there for a couple of years. But like I didn't want to go straight to that PD because I didn't want it's a small town, but I didn't want the stigma of like, oh, you just got here because of
that. Yeah.
So, I just wanted to be a cop. But my PD at the time, we were 12-hour shifts. At the time that I was testing was permanent shifts. They paid better. We don't pay insurance.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a no-brainer.
A better, it turned out to be better. So went there. And it was funny because there was, when I got there, there was a lot of guys still on the PD that I knew, that I grew up with, that
That's
knew
awesome.
me since I was,
Right.
that when they started, when I was like right out of high school.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I got a little ribbing for that. Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I will just keep talking. So if you want to ask a question,
Nah, you're good, brother. So like,
I'm just like rambling. I'm like, oh, this is great.
yeah, you're getting after it. So I was letting you roll with it. But
Yeah.
any memorable calls that really stick out to you? What's one like very memorable call that sticks out to you that kind of still sticks with you to this day?
It still took me because it's funny. We had a call. We used to have. They're not there anymore. Apartments. It was row apartments, and we got a call of a fight or whatever. And we got there, and a dude had walked. We had just bonded him out actually, and
It's funny how that happens.
yeah, and he walked back to the apartment. The apartments are right down from the PD, and he had grabbed a gutter off, and he threw it through the window, and was trying to fight people inside, whatever. And he was not wanting to cooperate with us or with the FD, and we had to put the spit mask on him and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember I followed. I can't remember if I followed the ambulance back or I was in the ambulance back with him to the hospital. No, I followed him back to the hospital. I remember getting to the hospital, and all the nurses were like, "What are you bringing us back? Like, what'd you guys do to this guy?" Blah blah blah. And he was just swearing up a storm, screaming at all the nurses. I won't, for people that watch some vulgar language, but pissed them off so much that it was the first time I ever seen it. They gave him Prohypnol, which is the Jesus juice, which they gave Michael Jackson, but he was using the milky.
Propofol.
Propofol. I always call it
Propofol.
Propofol.
Yeah.
Prohypnol is the date rape drug. That's right.
Rooflin.
They gave him roofies. No, Propofol.
Yeah.
They gave him that. And he pissed off the nurse so bad by screaming at him that they gave him that. And I was like, what?
What drug is it?
Propofol. It's a sedative.
It pretty much puts you in a coma.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
They
And
use it for like intubations and stuff.
like
Sounds like a
they
good nap.
they put the IV in and it looks like milk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It also
and-
burns, apparently.
He didn't make any sound that it burned it. Burned it.
Burned.
Make my own
It's a
words.
word
Burned. But they put it in and he knocked out. And I was like, this guy's under arrest. Do I got to stay? So I called my boss and I was like, hey, they just knocked him out. And the doctor's like, he's not getting up until I tell him, until I take him out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Okay.
So yeah, that was just interesting because it was, I mean,
What'd you guys hook him for in the first place?
the fight and damage to property.
Oh, okay. And then he went
stuff.
back. Okay.
Oh, in the first place. No,
Yeah.
the first place it was a driving offense, suspended or something.
Oh, okay.
But then he walked back and he was getting in fights earlier.
Okay. It's a real winner.
Yeah. But no, I mean the town I work in it's a residential town, small residential town. Everybody knows everybody. It's a great town, mainly industrial.
So tell me about the SWAT team. When did you get in SWAT?
Been on for 11 years. So 2000. All right, let's see. I got on my PD now in 2008, and then I think it was 11 or 12. A spot opened up, and I put in for it, and because I just wanted to progress my career. I mean, now I'm a firearms instructor, and wanted to be on the SWAT team. So I think I got on in 2011.
Was your dad on the SWAT team too?
No. My dad was he did investigations, I think, but he started the juvenile program.
Cool. Very cool.
And then he did that, but we didn't have a SWAT team when he was on. Actually this year will be our June. It'll be our 20th year. So
Very cool.
my SWAT team's been formed for 20 years. But so I got on, did that, went to the FBI SWAT school.
Nice.
Which was amazing.
I bet.
Up by Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Amazing place. The instructors were awesome. Where'd you go to SWAT school?
Elias.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I think one of the
Randy. Do you know the guy Randy? He's like
bigger guy.
Short and chubby.
Yeah. He taught me in a lot of after I got on the SWAT team and with stuff like I've been through rapid deployment instructor class, rescue task force instructor class. One of the I will say, I mean, I was very fortunate with my PD that they allowed me to go to a lot of the ITOA classes. So I'm a master patrol officer, Master Tactical Patrol Officer in the state of Illinois. Because I'm certified instructing Rapid Deployment Rescue Task Force,
Hell yeah.
First Aid Medics. I think there's one more, and firearm instructing. But Randy taught for Rapid Deployment.
Yeah, he always wears that patch on his chest too. He wore like a kit.
Yeah.
He always wear a patch. I can't remember. It's like
He was a good dude. Like
Yeah.
he was the one that first told me about Mid-South.
yeah, he always goes down.
Because he takes his group.
Yes, he takes us
And,
too.
Because my department, we're not part of ILEAS.
Yeah.
Or well, we are, but we don't
Right.
we don't do the ILEAS stuff.
Yeah, we do the so Will County will send role players for the basic SWAT and even advanced SWAT. So they always will give us additional spots at Mid-South. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he was like, oh, if you want to go to Mid-South, let me know, and I can try to get you with us. But yeah, no, Randy was a good instructor.
Yeah, very knowledgeable.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to the FBI basic SWAT class. I was just looking at 11 or 12, I can't remember. And right after I got on the team, I was fortunate enough we were going to New Mexico to do their bomb terrorism class.
Oh, very cool.
That was interesting. You learned about IEDs.
Yeah.
And, so that was fun. But so yeah, I've been on there. Started out as on Charlie team, which is our perimeter team. Then shortly after I got there, they needed a breacher, so I've been
Breacher up.
breaching ever since.
There you go.
Now I'm a team leader on the team. Yeah,
So it's always disheartening when you get that ram and you hit it and it's not going anywhere. I did a hit real quick. Now I'm gonna get it. The little ADD hit the horn. But we did a search warrant. And my buddy, I think it was his first time on the ram, and he was hitting it, and I kept saying lower, or higher. He's too low. I was like higher. I was like, Jimmy, fucking go higher. He hits it and it pops open. It was pretty funny.
My first time after going through, because I went through what did you go through a breacher school?
No, just we would do training with our own.
Oh,
with our
I
team.
didn't know if they sent you to a breacher school or
No,
not.
we would do like every month would be a different training, and so one of the months we were doing breaching, so they would get those dowel rods, like the bigger dowel rods, and then a steel door, and we would all take turns prying, hitting. Hitting. So.
I got you. I didn't know if they sent, because I went to ADD now. I went to explosive breaching school with a couple of your guys.
Oh, okay, good dudes.
Yeah,
big dudes.
No,
a lot of our breachers are like
huge.
Oh, a lot of our breachers. Well, I mean, like 6'6".
Not your breacher guys. They were explosive breacher.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of guys on the SWAT team.
Yeah, I probably know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But I went through a breacher school. So shortly after that, my first hit, being the lead breacher, and they're all hyping you up on the way. They're like, it's your first time. Don't screw up.
Yeah.
Don't screw up. I'm like, okay. And I remember it was a wooden door. And it had like 4 panels on it, glass up top, and I'm wailing on this door, and they're screaming at me to get in, and I'm hitting it wrong because I'm trying to use just all arms.
Yeah,
and I remember I take
it's all
in the hips. I broke the panels out, and then the door, and then we finally got the door down, but the door didn't swing open. We broke it through the hinges, and it went down. Oh, that was.
Yeah,
I'll never live that down.
And they'll never let you.
No, just like I never would let anybody else.
Nope.
It was funny. I was just like all hyped up. I'm like, I'm gonna swing with my arms.
Oh, and you get amped. So like I remember training, and they're like, don't hold on to the back handle too hard because you'll break your hand. And I totally forgot. And I was just ripping it. Yeah. And they're like, how's your hand feel? I'm like, oh, it feels good. I'm good. My hand was throbbing.
Oh yeah,
throbbing because I gripped it like death grip.
And like now, like teaching, breaching, and all that stuff like that. I'm so glad we got the Thames guys on, because I'll look at the firemen and be like, "Hey, how are you guys getting into doors,
dude? Yeah,
you guys are masters."
Yeah,
because I remember because we have obviously besides like the Rams and the Halligans, we have all the K-12 saws and everything like that. Yeah. And I remember whenever we get houses that we're allowed to train at, I'll look at the fireman and be like, "Hey, how are you getting into the garage door? Like, how would you do it?" Yeah. How to saw this, stuff like that, because you guys are the masters at it.
Yeah, right. That's smart though, because not too many people are going to ask them.
Yeah,
because the pride or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, you guys. I mean, you guys are good at it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I just break shit.
So pretty much we do too.
Yeah, you guys. From what I've seen too, you the front doors. You guys get into it nice and systematically.
Yes.
I just break it.
Yeah.
You guys are like, oh, we'll use this Halligan and pry it a little bit.
Yeah,
and then we'll
cops.
just probably, I'm like, I'm just going to break this
Yeah.
door till it goes down.
We have a system.
Mhm.
We have a system.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, you guys got to.
No, really, like you do. You want to charge the door,
No, for sure.
go from there. You
It
got a whole
costs-
system to it.
Cops are just like, no, me break door.
Yeah, I'm like, I just.
me out the heart.
I just break doors as loud as I can, and then going to explosive breach in school. I'm like, I like to blow stuff up. It's fun.
Shit,
Shit.
breaching's fun. Or like, is it a porthole? Doing a porthole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking fun too.
Yeah, we don't have or we're working on getting an explosive breaching program now. I'm going back to the school in June.
No, nice.
Was fortunate enough to go to it 4 years ago, I think. I'm going back to it to get recertified and a couple other guys, but yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, so for a port, like people don't know, you'll put an explosive on the door or on the wall.
Yeah,
And you'll blow a hole
Portholes.
through. Yeah, you blow a hole through the wall, and if it's like a hostage rescue or something like that.
yeah. So
Or
that way
any-
you could see inside, or
Yeah.
you could put a weapon inside to shoot, and that's is a diversion, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean it's amazing. I mean just the training that we get.
Do you remember your first search warrant with SWAT team?
I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago. Yes, because we I almost got flashbang on that one.
I knew it was gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
because mine was a good one.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything. Nothing ended up happening crazy. Yeah, but it was just I almost got flashbang in the driveway because somebody that was throwing the flashbang threw it too short.
Yeah.
Because it was a no bang situation.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, oh shit. But yeah, nothing crazy with the arrests or anything.
That's funny because my first story was with the flashbang too. Because we did a bang pull and I was doing security and I
Oh.
forgot my ears in my truck.
Oh,
So I was like,
dude,
what ear do I want to save?
dude, I juggle. My kids know now. Like I'm half deaf.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, from the time. I mean, I don't know how much shooting. I mean, you guys do a lot of shooting in the Coast Guard, like ranges and stuff. 'Cause you were on boats, so
decent
like,
amount. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I can remember my Army days.
Oh, you guys probably did way more than we did.
I mean, we did, but not crazy. I mean, I remember going to the ranges, but like half ear protection,
Oh yeah.
whatever, or
Maybe foamies.
yeah,
maybe.
maybe foamies, or if you forgot your foamies, you didn't want to get in trouble, you threw cigarette butts in there.
Good old fucking
Yeah,
Marlboro
and,
Reds, baby.
Yeah. Oh, mine were Camels. I was Marlboro Lights and Camels.
There you go.
Now I just do the douche flute, but
The douche flute.
but
Oh, I think we found the title of your episode. So we're running out short on time.
oh, sorry.
No, you're
This
good.
is way longer. So, go ahead and ask your question.
Unless you have like another memorable SWAT story, I was gonna move on to kind of like the more of the mental aspect of the career after you're done with your douche flute.
Okay.
That's actually a very fancy.
It is fancy. I am. Mental health. It's getting bigger now.
Yeah.
More talked about, I would say. I know we talked about it off camera. I did have a friend of mine when I was at Fort Riley that committed suicide. Found that out at the range. We were at the range. We got called in, and Calvin Rodriguez. Remember him? And then when I was stationed in Germany, one of my other drug investigators, I didn't know him so well. We were just doing the drug op together. He actually committed suicide after a dope buy in the
Wow.
office.
Yeah, he did it in the office.
Yeah, the other two
Oh,
guys,
man.
went in the other office and did it. That was just a shock. And then I couldn't even. I want to say 5 years ago. I'd have to look it up, but one of my good friends from another department committed suicide.
That's tough, brother.
That was a tough call, and just don't know,
Yeah.
because they don't talk about it.
Yeah. They usually mask it very well.
Yeah, he did. He was helping me build my deck he passed away on a Tuesday, and he helped me build my deck. We were building it all weekend, but he was there it was funny because it was a Sunday. It was the hottest day of the year. And I had,
It always is when you're building stuff outside.
It was the hottest day of the year. And we had all of us out there, and we started, I had worked midnights the night before and got off, and everybody got there at like 7 a.m. And we had a call out that afternoon, and we were building all day. And we went to the call. It was our last call together. So the photo. And then that Tuesday, got the call.
You took a photo?
Yeah, I got the photo of us on that last call out. Just because we would take photos prior to college, being dorks, not knowing it was the last one together.
Yeah. Shit, brother.
Just because, we don't talk about it.
No, yeah.
We're guys. We don't talk about our feelings.
Right.
And it's something you do got to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it helps me. I mean, it helped me through my situation.
Yeah, yours. I mean, Jesus.
I think it's like that mentality, like that old school mentality of not like talking about what you go through and just kind of like we like suck it up and just keep moving.
Yeah. Speaking of the light in the mood, did you see Jesus?
Did I see Jesus?
Did you see Jesus?
No, it just went black.
Dang it! I was hoping you'd give me some insight. But anyways, yeah, I know it had to do with yours. I remember my dad called me when your incident happened. I was like, Jesus.
And I think it hits home too, because I mean, you work in the same field, you know me. It puts things in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hit home, and I know it. You hear it in my dad's voice.
Oh, big
talk about yours.
Yeah.
No, it did. Because at that time, not knowing.
Yeah.
Then I called your dad right away. I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do this job thinking, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah. And in Romneyville, I don't think maybe they had one officer killed. Maybe, I don't remember. Maybe it was a town south of us. I don't think they've ever had an officer shot in Romneyville. I think I was the first. The statistic or award or whatever that I never wanted to achieve.
Yeah. And you got it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, yay me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just, you never think about it. And when it does happen, and then like what, 2 months later, Bolingbrook cop got shot.
Yeah.
It's just, it's rampant.
Yeah. I mean, that's like with my police career, and I'll never say I'm the best cop ever, but I try to train as much as I can and do the instructing part as much as I can to train my department, because every department says that. Never going to happen to us.
Yeah.
Never going to happen to us.
That's where you go
like,
wrong.
Every school, Uvalde, they never thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
You never thought it was going to happen that day when you woke up. And so I want my guys we all get into the, we're just lull, and, my town's a very small town. It's not going to happen. Now it's progressing. We're getting worse stuff, but I want them to be trained to where, to know that.
Train like you fight.
It can happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Hopefully, knock on wood, it doesn't happen in my career there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I want them to be ready.
Yeah. And I feel like range days, since you're a range officer, I mean, like different scenarios, you have to throw it out there.
Yeah.
You have to do it, I was a big proponent of like, let's do a range where you sprint, you respond out of your squad, you sprint into the building, you get into the range, grab your firearm off a table, reholster it, and then go through the scenario. Get your adrenaline going, get your blood pumping, because and it's, in my situation, that's what was happening.
Yeah.
And you get that tunnel vision.
And that's why, like, I was talking to my dad about it. Like, when I train my PD soon, and not so much shooting the range, but first aid.
Yes.
I want to bring you out to be like, hey guys,
please.
Hey, subject matter expert on this. Dude is alive today because of the medical stuff that your partner did.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. And even tourniquets.
Yeah.
So we had a SWAT training where they brought out a doctor, and he literally made us put our hands in ice for an X amount of time, take him out, and then soak or rub our hands in like jelly or some type of KY maybe.
Yes.
And then put on a tourniquet.
Oh God. Because that's what blood's gonna. Yeah.
And then, but he made us put the tourniquet on the proper way. Turn it. Like 5 times.
That's the key, is that like every time you do right. Like, do you guys do tourniquet training with the FD?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've got so many tourniquets.
I mean, like, you always do it, and you're like, okay, I'll put it on.
Yeah.
You're doing it with your buddy, so you turn it twice. Like, okay, it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
good.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, to actually do it.
We're different.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, we crank them all the way down.
Yeah.
cops are horrible.
Horrible.
We're just like I'd be with Dom, and I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna turn it a couple times.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
you
does this
could-
hurt?
yeah,
Okay, we're done. Yeah, we're good.
Oh,
But
dude,
it's like
we'd be like, how many times can I turn this?
like
Do you feel it yet?
Yeah.
to actually do the training and like to go to classes, and they're like, okay, no, this is different. You're gonna put that on somebody, it's gonna hurt.
Yes. And if they're not
And like
screaming,
the first time I had one put on, I was
Yes.
like, holy, like this does it. And they're like, yes,
you can't walk.
it should hurt worse than the gunshots.
Yeah. If they're not crying or like screaming at you, like take it off
Yeah.
or stop, then you're not doing it correctly. And then they made us get up with it and walk.
Oh, wow.
You can't even walk with it. I mean, honestly, I think that's the type of training that these are our departments or departments across the nation should be doing.
And it's getting that way,
Yes.
especially now with the more shootings that are happening. I think more, obviously, as a whole, police wide, they're getting to the more medical side.
Yeah.
Not crazy medical side, but pressure bandages, tourniquets, get those on immediately, and
Yes.
and how to shoot with those,
Well,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You guys are right there for it, first in, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you have to know some form of that, like, I guess, I don't want to call it like combat casualty care, but like
In a sense, it kind of
basically
is,
what
yeah.
it is.
Because you guys can't come in if the scene's hot. Like where in my situation, the guy was still out there. You can't just have the ambulance going. There's no time to wait. It's load and go and run. And
that was
do basics.
And like you said in your podcast, and that's what saved your life, was that they threw you in the car and went.
Yeah,
Like you couldn't wait.
Yeah, listen, talked to the doctor or something like that, and they said I had like 20 minutes to live.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I think also what kind of comes into that situation, and last point I'll make before we kind of end here, is that it's that warrior mindset or that will to live, and it's actually a huge portion of it, because that's the only thing I thought about. Is I have to keep breathing. I have to keep breathing for my son. And I think that's what really kept me alive, man. It did.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's amazing you're alive today, and I thank God you are. I mean, you went through it.
here's that. buddy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I know we're recording. Thank you guys very much for having me on. I'm nobody. Thank you for letting me talk.
You're
this is
not nobody.
amazing.
You're somebody to me.
Hey,
Hopefully
man.
Joe Rogan hears this and has me on Joe Rogan's podcast. Thank you very much. No,
There
just
you go.
joking.
Hey, everybody's got a story, so we're glad to tell it, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, brother, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you guys listening. It means the world to us. We can't grow this channel without you guys. Please like, subscribe, share. Phil,
Yes.
you're a fucking rock star, brother.
Like it everywhere. It's on everything. So like and subscribe to this. Let's do it every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
Gary.
we appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you very much.